Okay guys, so in the last tutorial we looked at drawing up our side, and at the moment we know that that's going to be it's going to fit hopefully because it was 102 wide. I can just double check that by pressing a D and pulling out a dimension line, and I can see straight away it's 102, so that's all good. What we're going to do now is we need to make some connections. If we just leave these as straight edges, it's going to be almost impossible to get those straight edges to glue up neatly and accurately to another straight edge, because they're just going to slide around while the glue is wet, and there's no what we call mechanical connection. In other words, there's no interlinking going on. So to do that interlinking, we're going to do that just by effectively drawing a series of rectangles, and it is no more difficult than that, but there's just a couple of things that you need to get right. I'm going to close my data panel up because it's using up valuable sort of screen space at the moment, and I want to be seeing this pretty clearly. I'm going to zoom that a little bit as well, and then I'm going to press R for rectangle, and on the doesn't matter if I start on the left or the right, it makes not a blind bit of difference. Let's start on the left, that seems a bit logical. Now I'm pulling out a rectangle into that border area. The size of that rectangle is important, okay? So you can see that I've got one dimension box is highlighted blue all of the time. So the one that's highlighted, I'm just going to put in 20, and then I'm going to press Tab and 3. So it's 20 deep and 3 wide, okay, and then press enter, and that's going to be that first one done, okay. Oh, this doesn't look good. There we go. All right, panic over. I thought we might be in trouble there. So I've drawn a little rectangle on that Voronoi sketch. Now, what I want to do is I want to come across, and on the opposite side, directly opposite, I want to draw one here. Okay, so I'm going to press my rectangle button again. If you look, that's actually tracking across on that line all the way until I get to that point. It's really, really super important that you start aligned with the previous one. So now I'm going to click and I'm going to drag down just as I did before. I'm dragging down and into that border area. 20, tab 3, press enter. Okay. Why that's having a think every time, I don't know. That's not really normal. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to track that all the way across, making sure, be careful here because you can see that blue line is slightly hopping about. It's not always tracking the thing that I want to. So what you can do, I think, is if you press and hold your shift key as you move that along, you should always be able to get that tracking right to the bottom corner of the previous one. And then same again. I'm going to type in 20 down, tab 3 in. Okay. And I think you've guessed what's coming next, right? We're going to choose our rectangle tool again. I'm going to press and hold my shift key. I'm going to come across here and I'm going to do 3, tab 20. Now, this is not the only way you could do this. And if you're a bit of a whiz, a CAD whiz or a Fusion whiz, so same again, press R, take my line across, check that I'm completely aligned with the bottom of the other one, and then, yes, you guessed it, 20, tab 3. So if you're a bit of a CAD whiz, you might actually find a better way of doing this. Okay, I'm trying to keep it relatively simple, so that you don't need to have sort of amazing CAD skills to be able to do this. There we go, and I'm 20, tab 3 again. But you could do it using something like a rectangular pattern. There's various other sorts of tools at your disposal in Fusion that might make this a lot easier. Mr. Mike and I have been trying to find something that would allow you to do this almost automatically. We haven't found anything just yet, but we'll keep looking and hopefully get something in place for you. Okay, and I'm going to carry on all the way down with that same idea until you can see what you've got is, if I look at the overall pattern, you've got like a missing bit in each of these corners, and they step down like a set of steps. So I want you to imagine that we've printed 4 of these out, okay, and when we've printed 4 of these out, this blue part of this one is going to lock into this blank part of this. This blue part is going to lock into this blank part. This blue part is going to lock into that blank part. And that's going to give us a mechanical connection and is going to help the glue and help us while we're gluing up to make sure that everything's in the right place. So just carry that on all the way down, and you should find that obviously the last one should end up fitting perfectly into that corner there. Okay, I'm just going to finish this off, and on the next video I'll show you where to go from there.